Okay, but really though, how many pictures have you taken on your phone just today? 5, 15, even more. I mean, look, I get it. My camera roll is totally overflowing too.
Mhm.
It kind of makes you wonder though, with all the selfies and like random stuff we photograph, do we ever actually stop to think about what a photo even is these days?
It's funny you should ask that because with all the advancements in AI lately, it feels like the whole definition of photography is being kind of like totally redefined, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've actually got a ton of articles and notes here about exactly that. But there was this one from The Verge that really grabbed my attention. They went straight to the source, talking to the big players at Samsung, Google, Apple. Everyone's trying to figure out how this whole AI thing is changing the game.
Yeah, and it's not just some abstract tech thing either, right? This goes way deeper. It's about how we're actually like experiencing reality now. Pretty intense stuff, right? And all stemming from a quick snap on our phones.
I know, right? It's kind of mind-blowing. Okay, so where do we even start with all this? Well, Samsung's Patrick Schmidt had some pretty strong opinions. His stance is basically there's no such thing as a real picture anymore.
Yeah, and he makes this point about sensors that's really interesting. Like, his argument is the second you use any kind of sensor like the one in your phone, obviously you're already creating a reproduction,
Right.
not capturing reality directly.
Totally. There's this quote from him in the article really stuck with me. He says, as soon as you have sensors to capture something, you reproduce what you're seeing, and it doesn't mean anything. Whoa, right. That's almost like saying that every photo is inherently fake from the moment you take it.
Yeah, it's definitely a bold statement. And then, like, take that a step further, right? Think about all the AI enhancements happening now. If an algorithm is, messing with your focus and tweaking the colors and everything, how much of that final image is even real? How much of it is actually what you saw through the lens?
That's such a good point. So does that, like, cheapen those amazing photos we see? The ones that look unbelievably perfect, incredible wildlife shots, those crazy landscapes. Do they become less impressive knowing that there's probably a ton of AI manipulation behind them?
Right. It really makes you think about what we truly value in a photo, you know?
Mm.
Is it the pure, unedited truth of that moment frozen in time? Or is there space for like a more nuanced perspective? Can we say that technology is enhancing the art of photography instead of, diminishing it?
So many questions. But actually, before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's shift gears for a second. Google's Isaac Reynolds has a totally different perspective on all of this. He's all about embracing the memory a photo evokes, rather than getting caught up in whether every pixel is 100% accurate to reality.
Totally. And this actually ties in perfectly with something about like human psychology, how our memories are already super subjective and kind of messy to begin with, right? I mean, we've all got those photos that bring back this rush of feelings, but when we actually try to remember the details, it's all blurry or maybe even different from what the picture shows?
Oh, tell me about it. There's this photo of me as a kid, right, on this big family vacation. I'm grinning ear to ear. We're at the beach. Supposed to be amazing. But all I remember is being sunburned and whining to go home the whole time. Clearly, the camera was telling a very different story. And that's kind of what Reynolds is getting at, like a photo can be this portal to a certain feeling or emotion, even if the memory itself is kind of fuzzy around the edges. It's like how a song can just totally transport you back to a specific time, even if you don't remember every little detail.
Right, exactly. It's that emotional connection that really makes a photograph powerful. It's not just about documenting what happened, it's about capturing that feeling, that little moment in time, but like filtered through our own experiences, right?
Totally. Okay, so we've got the philosophical sensor thing from Samsung, the memory-driven approach from Google. So then where does Apple land in all of this?
Well, Apple and their VP of camera software engineering, John McCormack, they seem to be walking a bit of a tightrope?
Oh, how so?
Well, on one hand, they're all about giving people those super powerful AI tools, right? Like, think about that new cleanup feature they have. You can just magically erase something you don't want in your photo.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, McCormack's talking about building on like photographic tradition and all that.
Ah, I see what you mean. It's a tricky balance, right? Like, how do you embrace these new tools and all their possibilities without losing sight of a photo as something, well, real?
Exactly. And that tension is basically what's at the heart of this whole debate. If you can change a photo so easily with AI, where do you even draw the line? When does enhancing reality become like totally fabricating it?
So are we saying that the idea of a photo being this completely truthful document Is that just totally outdated now?
It's definitely getting more and more complex, that's for sure. That Verge article I mentioned earlier, they actually make a really interesting point about all this. They say that maybe like a more accurate way to think about a photo is as this personal celebration of something that really actually happened, not necessarily a perfect reproduction of it, you know?
I kind of like that. It kind of acknowledges that there's always going to be that element of subjectivity in photography, even without AI. Even the way we frame a shot, right, or the exact moment we choose to hit the shutter, it's all influenced by us, by the photographer.
Exactly. And that personal touch, that's what gives a photo its meaning, you know, whether there's AI involved or not. And just think about, like, all the different kinds of real moments that we capture these days. I mean, anything from a really good latte to those huge milestones like a kid's first steps. The Verge article even mentions like a parent's last breath. Those are all real powerful moments, right? No matter how they're captured.
Absolutely. It's such a good reminder that even with all this talk about AI and sensors and everything, at its core, photography is about capturing those meaningful things from the real world, things that matter to us. But then on the flip side, with those AI image generators getting more and more advanced, you can't help but wonder, how is our understanding of realness in photography going to keep evolving?
Yeah, it's almost like we're creating a whole new visual language as we go, right? Like AI is adding this whole other layer of, I don't know, complexity to how we look at images, how we even make them in the first place.
It's true. And it's like, with any language, the more we understand it, the more we have to pay attention, be more critical about what we're seeing. We can't just scroll mindlessly anymore. We got to actually think about these images, engage with them on a different level. So then how do we do that? What does it even mean to be more, I don't know, visually literate when it comes to AI and all this?
Honestly, I think it starts with just being curious. Like actually asking yourself, okay, who made this image? What were they going for here? Is there something that's like subtly off maybe? Are there manipulations that are kind of messing with my head? And even just, how does this image even make me feel? Asking those kinds of questions.
So we got to be like image detectives now, looking for clues and all that.
Totally. And sometimes those clues lead to some pretty wild stuff. You might find out that this super perfect looking photo is actually like a bunch of different pictures Frankenstein together, or that an amazing landscape photo is totally tweaked, but in a way you wouldn't even notice, just to give you a certain vibe.
Which, okay, I guess that brings us all the way back to that big question in this crazy new world. What is a photograph, really? Have we figured it out yet? Or is it more about just accepting that there's not one right answer?
You know, I kind of like that there's not a simple answer anymore. It's way more interesting this way. It's a conversation that keeps going, you know? As technology changes, as our whole relationship with images changes, it's all evolving.
That's a great point. So what about you listening right now? Where do you stand on all of this? Does that more traditional view that a photo is just sensor data, like Chomet said, does that resonate with you? Or are you more drawn to that emotional aspect, like Reynolds was saying, where it's all about the memories tied to a picture? Or maybe you're somewhere in between, like Apple, trying to find that balance between the history of photography and all the cool new stuff AI makes possible.
Whatever it is, how you choose to see a photograph, it's totally up to you, right? That's kind of the beauty of it all. What matters is that we keep thinking about it, engaging with these questions. That's how things keep moving forward. And who knows, maybe by thinking about all this, you'll end up appreciating even a simple photo in a whole new way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And hey, maybe next time you're scrolling through your own camera roll, you'll actually stop for a second, look a little closer, and think about everything packed into those little squares on your screen, all those layers of meaning, technology, memories. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Definitely something to ponder.